Most traders lose money in September. Let's flip the script and make it one of your most profitable months. September has a reputation for being one of the trickiest months in the stock market. But tricky doesn't mean unprofitable, it means opportunity. In this video, I'll show you how I'm planning to trade September both to the upside and the downside. By the end, you'll know how I pick the right swing trades to ride higher and how I set up downside trades when the market turns against us. So stick with me because the market doesn't wait and neither should you. And while you're here, be sure and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. First, why September? Historically, it's one of the weakest months for the S&P 500. That means volatility, and volatility equals setups. But here's the catch. While indices often pull back, individual sectors and stocks can rip higher. My job and yours is to spot those divergences. The biggest winners in September often come from the least expected places. I'll show you exactly how I find them. Let's start with upside trades. I use two main filters to pick my swing trades. Number one, I'm looking for sector rotation. I like to use the website koifin.com. This gives me an easy graph that I can look at each day across multiple time frame lookbacks to see what sectors are moving from the bottom to the top. This gives me the first clue that there is sector rotation going on in the market. So when the S&P 500 is pulling back or maybe just chopping in a tight range, I am scouting those sectors that are moving up and also making note of the sectors that are moving down. After I identify where the relative strength is in the market or where big money is putting their focus, then I want to find the names in those sectors that are showing relative strength that are in bullish trends. Think of higher highs and higher lows, or maintaining above key moving averages. Those names that are in bullish trends is where I want to find my buy zone. I don't chase green candles. I stalk them until they pull back to a buy zone. Let me show you exactly how I find a buy zone and what the trigger would be for me to take a bullish trade. So in this example, I have located first a sector that is relatively outperforming the overall market. That sector is the healthcare sector. Then I went on to find a name in the healthcare sector that was showing a bullish trend. That name is Johnson & Johnson. Now let me show you how I'm going to find my buy zone. Over 80% of the time, a buy zone for me revolves around one candlestick pattern, the inside candle. If you don't know what I'm talking about, be sure and check out the video. I will link it in the description below, where I cover in detail how I locate an inside candle and then how I draw my buy zone around that candlestick pattern. The green zones that you see here on my chart are my buy zones for J and J. The first zone has a low risk of only $1, meaning I would enter at 175.98 and set my stop as a candle close below 174.96. I found this buy zone, of course, by first locating the inside candlestick pattern. I love this buy zone because I also have a confluence of the daily 21 moving average, which is often a place that big money likes to buy. Now, with targets set at 179.31 and 181.16, the only thing left to do is to create an alert at my buy zone, then wait for that alert to go off, execute my trade, and manage it accordingly. All right, that's how I look for upside. But what about when the market sells off? That's where the real edge comes in. So let's dive into how I set up downside trades. September isn't just about upside. Some of the biggest profits come from positioning short. Here's my framework. I like to identify weak sectors. Again, I will use koifin.com. I am scouting those sectors that were once relatively strong but are slowly moving down towards the bottom. That is my clue of sector rotation, showing me that big money is moving out of what was a relatively strong sector and moving into more of the defensive sectors. Once I have identified where that sector weakness is showing up, I like to scout my charts looking for failed breakouts. You know, the market often teases us as traders before pulling the rug. Once I get confirmation of a momentum shift, I will use the inside candlestick pattern again to create a sell zone and wait for the rejection at that sell zone and then get short. You know, catching a breakdown early can turn a small trade into a home run. Miss it, and you're the liquidity for someone else's wins. Let's take a look at some examples and show you exactly how I would set up a play to the downside. After identifying potential sector rotation out of the semiconductor sector, it was showing relative weakness to the overall market. That led me to scouring the different names that trade within that sector. I identified Micron or MU as a weaker than the average name in that sector. Once I pulled up the daily chart on MU, I noticed that it had a failed breakout. That led me to creating a sell zone by using my favorite candlestick structure, again, the inside candle. Once I identified where that sell zone is at, now I know where my alert should be placed to enter a trade to the downside on Micron if it is to test that sell zone again. With my trade plan in place, including my entry, my stop, and my targets, there is nothing left to do except wait for the alert, enter the trade, and then manage accordingly. The difference between winning and losing this month won't be the market. It'll be your plan. So here's the bottom line. September is a month of opportunity. Focus on strength for longs, weakness for shorts, and don't marry any trade. Trade the setups, not your opinions or your emotions. If this video helped you build a plan for September, smash that like button so more traders can see it. And if you want my daily levels and setups, make sure you're subscribed to the channel because the next opportunity could hit tomorrow. And as always, if you're not already a member of the Trendy Trading Room at Simpler Trading, check out the link in the description below of how you can get a 30-day trial for only $7. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.